I'm sure you've all noticed how cars have gotten bigger and bigger over the years, but I've always wanted a small car that you could zip around in, might hold 2 people max, nothing fancy. And so today we're gonna start the quest to build the perfect microcar, for us at least. It's probably gonna be terrible, but we're gonna make an attempt anyway. A while back we bought this 1951 Crosley Microcar, and from the factory these only had 26 horsepower, so even when we took the body off and made it as light as possible, still would only go about 40 miles an hour top speed, so that's pretty much useless on modern roads. Hold on. That's all she's got, boys! Oh, it's bouncy. This is horrible. We also bought a 1981 Chevy Luv mini truck. So we're gonna take the body of the Crosley and the chassis and drivetrain from the Chevy Luv and combine them and make a Cruv or a Lovely. But either way, we're gonna have 4 times the horsepower, a modern suspension, and we'll actually be able to get parts for the chassis because it's just a 1981 Chevy pickup truck. So the goal for today is we're gonna try and get the body of the Crosley sat on the chassis of the Luv and make sure everything's gonna at least fit. To do that, we're gonna have to shorten the frame of the Luv because the Luv's about 2 feet longer than the Crosley wheelbase. So we're gonna have to cut the frame in half, shrink it, weld it back together. If you've seen any of the other videos on the channel, you'll know I've got questionable welding skills in aluminum and stainless steel, but I can usually MIG weld steel together halfway decent, so we should be okay. Before we shorten the frame today, we've got to get tires on the wheels so we can roll the chassis into the shop here. I ordered the tires. The problem is these wheels are so rusted and pitted, the tires won't seal on the beads, so I'm gonna have to fix the wheels. Okay, so here's my idea to fix the wheels. We're gonna make an electric motor powered like a wheel lathe system here. So this is an electric motor for sewing machines, so it's got the pedal attachment and it's a variable speed, so that works pretty good. I've got an infinitely adjustable V-belt, which I've never seen before. And I've started to draw out and drill the bolt pattern here for the wheel. And then we've got a little hub here for a go-kart. We're gonna mount that there. Mount this to this 5/8 inch rod. I've got pillow block bearings, another pulley, and we should be able to spin the wheel. And then I can put Bondo on the wheels, sand it down, paint it, because you can't really find replacement Luv wheels anywhere unless you want to buy some old rusty ones off eBay that would probably need the same thing. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to find out. All right, what do y'all think of this goofy contraption? Got everything temporarily held down. That's all we need for today. Lowest speed this motor will go is 200 RPM, so that should be good for kind of sanding once we get Bondo and stuff on there. It's spinning pretty straight for just drilling some holes in metal. It's not perfect. You can see it going up and down a little bit there, but for sanding, I think it'll be all right. Let's try it out. We're not going fancy. I've got just normal Bondo to fill all the rust pits on the wheels, self-etching primer, and then spray paint. We're gonna go gloss white, Rust-Oleum. This is some automotive enamel. It's got an adjustable spray head here. Never seen that before, so cheap paint for a cheap car. Bondo time. I know there's better ways to fix a wheel, but this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna spread her on the wheel with just some plastic so I can kind of contour it to the lip. See how that works. All right, let's see how much of a mess I can make. I forgot how quick Bondo sets off. It's already starting to set up. Crap. Too hot. Mixed it too hot. Mixed it too hot. I'm gonna have a lot of sanding on that part. Son of a... First coat of Bondo's down. You can see... Let's see. Yeah, there's where I finally started to get a hold of it, and so I won't have a lot of sanding to do right there. And here's where I started. So mixed it a little too hot, it's set up too quick, and now I'll be sanding for a minute there. But let's try the machine out now and see if this helps me sand this down pretty quick. We'll start with some 80 grit. See what that does. I gotta go mask on so I don't get Bondo cancer here. Here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks pretty good. I had to move outside because of all the Bondo dust, but the wheel rotisserie did pretty good. The sewing machine motor, that's pretty handy. We're gonna keep that around. You can use that for all kinds of stuff, I'm sure, in the future. Got all 4 wheels done. Some look better than others. It makes it easier to paint when the wheels are spinning, so that's pretty cool. I've still got some spots in here where I didn't quite fill all the divots, so I'm not sure if these are gonna hold air or not. We're gonna find out. I just went and got the wheels. They are tiny looking, but I think they might work. So it would have been a lot easier to just buy wheels online, brand new ones, but I couldn't find any that would fit. So the Chevy Luv wheels, they're tiny. They're 14-inch diameter. They're only 5 inches wide, and they've got a lot of back spacing, so they don't stick out very far past the wheel mounting surfaces, which is a good thing, because as it is now, I think they're still going to stick out a couple inches past the Crosley body, so we might need fender flares. I'll put the specs of these wheels on the screen. Maybe some expert out there will have an idea of a wheel that might fit. Otherwise, for now, we're just going to run these all factory 1981 Luv wheels, and we'll see how it looks here in a minute. This is funny. These are so tiny you can carry them. They're just like a spare tire. Lightweight though, so that's cool. All right, here we go. Let's see what they look like. Oh yeah, this thing is gonna do burnouts for a mile. One wheel peel. All right, next step, we'll get this on the ground, roll it in the shop, and figure out where to cut this chassis in half and shorten it by about 2 feet, roughly. Let's drop it on the ground. See if our tires hold air. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, it rolls. That's good. Let's put it in 4th gear. See if we can turn the engine over with the clutch. Y'all tell me if it's spinning any of the pulleys up there. Feels like it is. Engine's not locked up, so it's a good sign. At least it rolls pretty easy. And it's manual steering too, so no power steering. But that's one less pump and fluid to worry about leaking, so we shouldn't need power steering in a little microcar. The wind picked up last night, and I had the hood for the Crosley laying against the parts dishwasher. It fell over and it broke the hood ornament, the bird. It broke its wing off, and that is no good. Do you think anybody makes a 1951 Crosley hood ornament anymore? It's not good. I was not trying to mess this car up, contrary to what some people might think. And I've already probably got a hit out on me from the Crosley Owners Association, so That's not good. This is crazy. I Googled for Crosley hood ornament and came across this kid's webpage. It says he's a freshman in high school, and for his senior project, he chose to restore a Crosley that he's working on. And it says you can help fund my project by purchasing a hood ornament. And so the kid is making hood ornaments because he couldn't find one either. And they're making them out of solid aluminum and then chrome plating them. Look at that. Now they're $300, but it says it's going to support his project. I mean, that seems like it's a good cause, right? So maybe it's a good thing the hood fell over. Of course, this could also be just a scammer website, and I just sent $300 to India or something, who knows. We're gonna do one of our games we like to do a lot on the channel. What is the weight? So I've got the old scales out here. I'm not cheating, I don't know what it's gonna weigh, but it's an iron block, aluminum head, 1.8 liter, aluminum transmission. It is a beefy truck frame, and it's a full box, it's not just C-channel. Empty gas tank, muffler, I'm gonna say 1,200 pounds. What do you guys think? Get all our scales set under here. There's the front right. Okay, zeroed out. Let the front down. Oh, that jack sucks. All right, now let's let the rear down. Okay, both jacks are free. What do we got? Ooh, 1310, I was close. I said 1,200. What did you guys say? Before we cut the chassis here, I want to get this suspension leveled out where we want it. So this is a torsion bar suspension, and I loosened it up as much as it could go, so I've got the front pretty low. It was raised all the way up because this was a lake truck, just for driving around trails and things. I think my buddies back in the day put these extendo shackles on the back to monster truck it out, so I'm gonna knock these out. All right, let's see what this does. All right, I lowered it down a little bit. Okay, drive shaft's gotta come out. We'll make a new, okay, yeah, we'll shorten this one. We'll shorten this drive shaft at some point, but that's a future us problem, not a current us problem. I spent some time cutting away the brackets that we're not gonna need, and then the exhaust, I cut it because we're gonna have to rebuild it at some point. So everything's kind of cleared out of the way now for us to make the cut. I'm getting a little nervous because there's not really much going back after this. Once we cut this thing, it's pretty much done. So last video you might have seen, what I did is I 3D scanned this whole Luv chassis, and I 3D scanned the Crosley body, and then I was able to put them in Fusion 360 and fit them together and take different cuts out of the chassis to figure out the best spot to cut it and how much we need to cut. And after fiddling around with it for a while, I came up with 22 inches roughly that needs to come out of the chassis. And this is the best spot I found. It's a pretty straight section here. And this is actually where, from the factory, they weld this right there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut through the factory weld here and then go 22 inches over and cut there. And I'm gonna try to do it with, I think the best way people do it is with really good, like carbide Sawzall blades. But mine are pretty fried, and I forgot to order a new one, so if this doesn't work, we'll just go with the plasma cutter. I should mention real quick, there's three main ways that people cut chassis to lengthen or shrink them. A straight cut, which we're gonna do, you cut down the frame like that. An angled cut, which obviously is cut at an angle. And then a Z cut or a step cut, where you make this shape and weld it back together. Either way, once you're done, you end up welding a doubler plate on the outside, and then they stitch weld it. So you weld like every inch so that there's not a stress concentration as much. So And people do different shapes for these. Some do a diamond, fish plate. General Motors has a website that they keep up to date with what they recommend if you're gonna lengthen or shorten a frame rail for commercial vehicles. And they recommend a straight cut, and they show the support patch welded to it and stitch welded every inch or so. So we're just gonna do the easy straight cut. If it's good enough for General Motors, hopefully it's good enough for us. Okay, what do you guys think? Old Sawzall gonna get through this? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh. All right. First cut down. No turning back now. Woo! Oh! Look how much damn dirt's in this frame. There's probably 10 pounds of dirt in each side of the frame from all the years of dirt daubers. Woo! This side full of dirt too. Oh yeah! Some of that Lake Texoma. We've got a random rock. This thing's probably been sunk in the lake a few times, knowing the guys. What do y'all think for first time trying to shorten a frame? My cuts seem pretty straight. The tough part on here is just finding somewhere to pull tape measures from. So I did this hole up here. I figured these supports were in the same place on both sides. So the pieces outside look like they're pretty much the same exact length. So I think we got it pretty good. Moment of truth. Get jack stands out of the way. Okay. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Oh yeah. Let's see, let's set this thing up here. Frame's 1/8 inch from what I just measured. So we're running 30 thousandths wire. Yeah, 30 thousandths, 1/8 inch. Oh hell, I always forget. What gauge is 1/8 inch? Damn it. All right, I zapped her around a little bit more than tack welding, but we can always cut it back apart if we need to. Seems pretty solid for now. I didn't go the whole way around, but this will be good enough to see if this body will fit on it. All right, y'all let me know what you think of my rigging here. I've got the front rope going through the air conditioner here. So you kick these open when you're going and you get air in there. So that should be good for the front. Back rope here, I've got a rope going behind here to the license plate holder. That way I keep this one from sliding forward. So you can see the body flexing. It's flimsy sheet metal. I got my steel toes on, so when this thing falls, hopefully I keep my toes. That's pretty good. It's a little windy. It's not an optimal day to be doing this, but also looks like it's about to rain too. All right, boys, what do y'all think this is gonna do? Here we go. Let's see.
He's got a brand new car. Looks like a Jaguar. It's got leather seats. It's got a don't
All right, boys, we're getting there. I moved it into the shop here because it was getting dark outside. And the past few hours, I've been just lowering the body like an inch at a time, cut more of the floor out, lower it again. Check it out, hood ornament showed up. The kids sent it like 2-day shipping, so it already got here. It says, thank you for your support. All proceeds will go toward my restoration of a 1951 Super Sport for my high school challenge project. And there we go. Chrome plated, CNC'd, new hood ornament. So it was not a scam, that's pretty cool. There's the old bird. All right, looks pretty good. Still got the dent. Oh, the dent we need to fix one day, but hey, that looks pretty good. It's the nicest part on the whole car right now. All right, y'all, I don't know what you think, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking. I know the wheels stick out way too much, but we knew that was gonna happen, so we're gonna have to make some fender flares at some point to kind of hide those a bit. But after 3D scanning everything and mocking it up, I think that was pretty cool because we could see how it was gonna look before we did the work. And it looks kind of the way it did in the mock-up. So the way the engine protrudes into the firewall some, we had to cut the firewall out, but the transmission looks like it's in a good spot. We're gonna have to do a full floor pan all the way to the back, so that's gonna be some fun. I've got to make body mounts, because right now it's just resting on the frame. It's gonna be interesting to see how it rides. It's pretty stiff, you know, because it was a little half-ton Luv pickup truck, so that might make it kind of drive like a go-kart if it's pretty stiff, we'll see. I want your opinion though. The next thing we want to do is fire up the engine, and there's two options to make this thing run. One is a Weber carburetor, and two is a Holley EFI system. Carburetor is gonna be simpler to get running. Pretty much bolt it to the engine, get a fuel to it, and that's about it. The pros for that Holley EFI system, it's gonna auto-tune itself. So it's got an oxygen sensor you put in the exhaust stream, and then it'll learn the mapping of the engine. It's got turbo support, because it's got a 2-bar map sensor. People are getting 200-300 horsepower out of these little 1.8 liter engines. Apparently they're pretty indestructible. We'll find out maybe one day, so that could be a pro. It's also illegal to put that EFI system on a 1968 and newer car. Even though it'll make it run better than a carburetor, better emissions, it's against the law. So anytime we can break a stupid law that shouldn't exist, that's a pro in my book. And then the biggie for me on this one is it's gonna support innovation of this kind of stuff. So if people don't buy these like EFI replacements for old engines, you know, Holley and other companies aren't gonna continue to make them. So I kind of want to spend a little more money and give it to Holley because they're making some cool stuff out there. But you guys let me know. With all that being said, what should we do? Old carburetor or EFI on the little Crosley? So y'all subscribe if you want to see where this little project goes. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us as always. We'll see y'all next time.